There's a storm brewing in Atlanta, not in the skies, but on the football field. A bold, controversial, and potentially franchise-defining gamble is unfolding before our eyes. So hit the like button and join me for the news. The Falcons are betting everything on youth, talent, and what some would call wishful thinking. They've made a big bet on not one, but two rookie pass rushers, Jalen Walker and James Pierce Jr. And here's where it gets fascinating. These two fresh out of college are expected to be game changers right away. This isn't your typical rookie integration strategy. It's not about easing them into the NFL, letting them learn the ropes, and gradually finding their place. No, the Falcons are pushing all their chips to the center of the table, hoping Walker and Pierce Jr. defy NFL history. Because if they don't, if they stumble under the bright lights and relentless offensive lines, it could be a long, painful season in Atlanta. Think about what's being asked here, rushing the passer at an elite level from day one. It's one of the hardest transitions in pro football. College dominance doesn't always translate to Sundays in the NFL. These young edge defenders are no longer facing underdeveloped linemen. Now it's seasoned pros, guys who've seen every trick in the book. Just look at last year. Braden Fisk led all rookies with 8 sacks from the interior. On the edge, Chop Robinson topped out at 6. These are strong numbers for rookies. Still, there were the exceptions in a particularly good draft class. Historically, rookie edge rushers tend to struggle to find consistent success. The last time a rookie hit double-digit sacks? Micah Parsons in 2021. That's a generational outlier, not a baseline. So when the Falcons expect Walker or Pierce Jr. to put up 8+ sacks, they're not just dreaming, they're demanding the improbable. And sure, the hope is that maybe one or both will buck the trend, but is that a sustainable strategy? Or are we looking at another example of misplaced optimism? The team isn't without options. Veterans like Arnold Ebiketie, Leonard Floyd, and Bralin Trice are also in the mix. If they could carry the weight early, it could ease the pressure off the rookies. That's the best-case scenario. The more likely reality? A defensive line figuring things out on the fly, with growing pains along the way. But here's a silver lining that can't be ignored. There's real hope in Atlanta's pass rush for the first time in years. The bar hasn't been high, but with Walker and Pierce Jr., the potential is finally there. They bring juice, explosiveness, and raw talent that could transform the defense over time. It's a long game, and the fans know it. Zooming out, there's another layer to this Falcons reboot. The 2024 season, which began with playoff dreams and a splashy Kirk Cousins signing, spiraled into disappointment. An 8-9 finish, a missed postseason, and a quarterback controversy were the headlines. But hidden in the mess? Glimpses of something new, something exciting. Rookie QB Michael Penix Jr. flashing potential, Bijan Robinson and Drake London both breaking out despite instability under center. The plan moving into 2025 is to shift the offense toward balance. Zach Robinson and head coach Raheem Morris are doubling down on making Penix comfortable, which means building an offense that can complement the ground game with a more dynamic air attack. Drake London will continue to command attention, while Kyle Pitts, Darnell Mooney, KhaDarel Hodge, and Ray McCloud must step up. Pitts, in particular, is at a crossroads. He survived an offseason filled with trade whispers, and the question is no longer just about production, it's about fit. If the Falcons want the passing game to flourish, Pitts must be a centerpiece. His 2024 inconsistency was a major setback. 2025 needs to be different. And speaking of trades, there's a fascinating proposal floating around, one that could shake up the very core of Atlanta's identity. A 3-team deal that would send Pitts to Cincinnati, land Trey Hendrickson in Indianapolis, and bring defensive stalwart DeForest Buckner to Atlanta. That's a massive swing, one that could provide the veteran presence Walker and Pierce Jr. desperately need on that defensive line. Buckner is a proven force. Pairing him with 2 hungry rookies on the edges could finally give Atlanta a defensive front worth fearing. So here we are, on the edge of transformation. The Falcons are daring to dream, taking huge risks, and potentially setting themselves up for either brilliance or heartbreak. What do you think, Falcons fans? Are we witnessing the birth of a new defensive era, or are the expectations just too high, too soon? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And just when you think the gamble couldn't get any bigger, the Falcons' quarterback situation adds another layer of intrigue. Kirk Cousins, once seen as the veteran savior meant to stabilize the offense and lead a playoff push, now finds himself in limbo. After a 6-3 start in 2024, everything unraveled. The offense sputtered, the wins dried up, and Cousins went from franchise face to expensive afterthought. With Aaron Rodgers now in Pittsburgh, a move that snatched away one of Atlanta's last plausible trade partners, the Falcons are stuck. Cousins is owed $27.5 million, and barring a surprise move, he could start the season on the bench, backing up a rookie. Yes, Michael Penix Jr., the second-year quarterback with an arm full of promise and a growing fan base, might just be the new leader of this team. He didn't start consistently last year, but when he played, he showed poise, big play ability, and a glimpse of what could be. The Falcons' new offensive brain trust is building around him, crafting a system that highlights his strengths, timing, vertical throws, and the ability to read defenses on the move. Now enter J.D. Bertrand. He wasn't the headline of the 2024 draft. He wasn't even a starter. But talk to anyone in that locker room, especially veterans like Caden Ellis, and they'll tell you that Bertrand's impact goes beyond the stat sheet. He's a grinder. A thinker. A guy who walked in and acted like a seasoned pro from day one. Despite playing just 19% of defensive snaps, Bertrand's intelligence and readiness turned heads. His role grew as injuries struck the linebacker core. In Week 5, thrust into action under the lights against Tampa Bay, Bertrand notched 5 tackles. It was a signal, this kid could play. He kept pushing. Rotating with Landman, fighting through a concussion, then making plays in crunch time late in the season. In Week 17, while Atlanta still had playoff hopes alive, Bertrand delivered his best game, 5 tackles, a sack, a tackle for loss, a quarterback hit. It was all there. The instincts, the quickness, the fire. This is what separates prospects from pros, the ability to show up when it matters. Bertrand isn't just depth anymore. He's a serious piece in a defense searching for its new identity. And as the 2025 season approaches, don't be surprised if he challenges for even more snaps. His teammates believe in him. The coaches are taking notice. And the fans? They should be paying attention. The Falcons aren't just trying to win games, they're trying to rebrand who they are. They're betting on upside, on raw talent, on a locker room that believes the time is now. If Walker and Pierce Jr. can develop under the fire, if Bertrand continues his upward trajectory, and if Penix becomes the real deal, this team isn't just rebuilding, it's evolving. But let's not pretend it's without risk. This whole plan hinges on youth. On promise. On projections becoming reality. And in the NFL, that's a razor-thin line between genius and disaster. Now it's your turn, Falcons fans, what do you think? Are we being too optimistic about Walker and Pierce Jr.? Is the team making the right move building around Penix and possibly moving on from Pitts and Cousins? Do you trust this youth movement, or are you bracing for another season of heartbreak? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to the channel. Go Falcons!